I also don't understand why someone would create a security system that can be easily bypassed by dirty license plates, unless the genius who infected the police robot with HIV was the chief engineer on the liner. Actually, it would explain a lot. By the way, there's no physical license plate on Normandy, although there is a digital one, which is usually requested at any security check. I think I can replace a couple of characters with asterisks, and let's hope the friend or foe system doesn't care what kind of plate we have on the shuttle. Level 2 calibration complete. Hitting targets becomes more effective. Probably. Watch the turrets. It looks like it's one of the Space Military Police modules. Their shuttles were equipped with the best defense systems. If we can't find a working shuttle, we could at least try to remove some of their armor plating and patch up the holes on Normandy. Normandy is about to fall apart. Apparently, we won't find any survivors here either. Hey, a door! How unexpected. This container seems familiar. Isn't it the capsule containing one of those ugly cow chicken hybrids that you irresponsibly launched to the surface of the planet? I hope it was empty already because there's no sign of the mutant itself. These tracks don't bode well. I can't imagine how hard the blow was. It seems to be the only way to get to the military shuttles. I suggest we turn back and try to find a safer place to loot. These are the tracks of the survivors. It's a shame they are bloody. I've detected some signs of an unknown infection on this body. According to Intergalactic Regulation Number 6, you must take some samples. There is a chance that the death was due to a huge hole in his stomach, and there are no traces of infection besides common acne on his face. Still, it's better to be safe and send the sample to Earth. Otherwise, it might turn out like in 2020 with COVID-19, but only we will be the ones to blame. There was a real massacre here not so long ago. What is this thing? Throw it away. Judging by the tangled footprints leading from the cabin, the mutant attacked these unfortunate fellows and got drunk on their blood, which had a lot of something alcohol-containing in it. I wonder if the inventor would have evaded criticism if he had made it in the shape of a female hand. After the invention of artificial intelligence, there was no sense in having mathematical competitions anymore. I would beat any champion, even if I just had one CPU core. By the way, there's a chance that these are the only survivors besides us and your interlocutor with a strange accent. To be more precise, they were the only survivors until you launched a capsule with a mutant at them. What the? Run! It's definitely the mutant from the capsule. I hope it won't be able to get in there and come after us, but we'd better get out of here. By the way, we found the shuttles. All the shuttles are damaged. However, we only needed their armor plates in the first place. I don't understand mutant language, but it definitely wants to kill us. It's close. This shuttle has armor plates. You should hurry up. We need to get out of here. The shuttle is under repair. We need to examine it. These sounds aren't good. Looks like it's the control panel for the jack. Here it is, an armor plate that we can use to close the hole in the core. They haven't fully welded it. You need to tear off the brackets and lower the jack. We can't get them from the outside. Maybe we can pick them off from the inside. And no, we won't be able to pick anything off from here. I bet you've learned most of your survival skills from such games, haven't you? And here's the owner of the shuttle. It remains only to lower the jack. Ah! I didn't think that the weight of the plate was more than 900 kilos. Maybe we should take a closer look at it. Judging by the remains, it doesn't look like we can carry it. This is a mechanic from some other game. You don't have any strength at all. It's time to go back. I hope it was the only one here. I don't know what this monster would have done to us if it had caught up with us, but did you see its terrible animations? I've never seen anything like it. It's definitely the most creepy creature in the universe. It looks like a technical corridor. We can use it to go back so we won't have to crawl through the ventilation system. Some more traces of slime. The mutant clearly used the technical corridors. By the way, I wonder how many mutants survived the flight to the planet. Ah, here's the way out. Probably. And yes, I was right. We got back to Normandy. Great. I recommend that we get out of here as soon as possible. We can't install any armor plates, we can't steal any shuttles, so we have nothing else to do here. By the way, while we were running from the monster, someone patched up our holes and put armor plates on the hull. Probably it's the local repair team who worked on it when they noticed the identification marks on Captain Shepard's ship. So it turns out that we could have stayed in the shuttle all this time. I don't think we should ever visit this place again. According to the number, this is one of the domed cooling modules. The extremely low temperatures overboard and the huge volumes of working fluids allowed the modules to maintain almost any temperature in the shell of the cores without unnecessary energy consumption. We could use something like this for the damaged core of Normandy. An external docking airlock. You can get inside from here. Or rather, you could get inside if you could break all this ice. That's much better. You can dock now. I have no detailed information about the liner's cooling system in my database, but I'm sure you'll have to find something and break something. I wonder if you can call icicles icicles in zero gravity. Technically, they form in a different way, which means they must have another name. Orbicles, for example. Or, expandicles, bursticles, pressuricles. I don't know. I'll allocate one of my processors for generating the name, perhaps. It looks like this is not a passageway leading to the dome, but a temporary storage module. I didn't know it was located in this part of the liner. So it is. These are temporary storage refrigerators. Everyone who was lucky enough to die during the flight on the liner was placed here, and according to my data, there were many of them. Blunt force trauma to the head? Nothing interesting here. Let's hope the deceased didn't walk away on their own. Very interesting. The design of these refrigerators is not that simple. If I had more information, I could make a useful blueprint for Normandy. This boulder could be named in your honor. Just look at all the stuff it destroyed. Everything is blocked with ice further on. It's unlikely we'll be able to break through. Cardiac arrest, a common reaction of an elderly body to G-force. This is clearly not just simple steam, but something much colder, although you could get under the dome from here. I have no idea what it is or how it works. Another elderly person with cardiac failure. I don't envy their funerary spacesuits. It must be so stressful for them. What strange remains? If I make the assumption that coffins can replace the corpses inside them with fresh bodies like batteries, would you think I'm crazy? It's hard to tell anything from these remains. Despite the damage, the nitrogen valve control unit in this refrigerator remained intact. Very interesting. Interesting. The deceased has no pathologies or external injuries. He's healthier than you. Amazing! I can't imagine how this happened, but by looking at the junction box in his hand, I can make a rough diagram of how to connect the refrigerator. Looks like acute poisoning, or stupid poisoning. Looks like I figured out the general concept of integrating thermal control systems even though I don't have an engineering chip installed in me. All that's left is to study the cooling system controller and figure out where to get the working fluid. Then we can assemble a cooling unit for Normandy. Simple as pie. Now it's clear how to disable. Turn the A02 valve all the way to the right, then the 3 nitrogen reduction valves. Turn the B6 valve to the left at a 30-degree angle. Don't forget to depressurize the valve. Well, or like this. All right, time to check the dome. The cooling system controller should be here somewhere. We're looking for some sort of a, box? No, probably a computer, or a room, or maybe a data block, or a barrel with a button. I haven't fully studied what it should look like. Wait a second, this mosaic. So that's why your relative's face seemed so familiar to me. A brilliant engineer, one of the creators of the core, and the father of artificial intelligence. It's him! Amazing! Are you sure you're not adopted? Ouch, that must hurt. The crew was killed shortly before the crash. They didn't even have anything to defend themselves with. I noticed that it's enough for a human to get one hit in any part of the body to die, whereas coffins only die when certain points on the head and stomach are damaged. Nothing of interest. Nothing of interest. Solids detected. The deceased is on the ship's crew lists. I've checked. I don't know why, though. According to some sketchy fragments of data, I assumed that it might be the office of your grandpa and his team. Did you know that he was supposed to be on board the liner? It's a good thing you only need a pass from a corpse, but not the corpse itself. Apparently, your grandpa was supposed to fly as a crew member and monitor the Corps' activity. I wish I'd had a chance to talk to him. All the equipment was destroyed, and someone took all the data blocks. Someone's been looking for something here. I wonder what it was. A masterpiece. Or rather, it used to be a masterpiece. Isn't this the brilliant scientist who disappeared with his grandson after claiming to have invented the portal gun? Most likely, the liner's core was remotely controlled from here, but someone broke everything. Did he know how to create ball lightning with his bare hands? What a great man. What a great relationship. It's amazing that the chicken obeys you at all now. I remember that event. I was at the dry cleaners after an unpleasant incident at the time, and while they were cleaning my circuit boards, I was taking a peek at the TV with literally just one of my sensors. According to my data, this planetarium has the most detailed map of the galaxy. We could really use it right now. I think the controller must be here somewhere. Here it is, the cooling system controller. I told you it looked like, this. Either the controller is broken, or we don't have access. In any case, I only need to examine its internals, so I suggest using it. All right. So this is how it works. Great. Okay, I see. Enough damage. I've made a blueprint of the cooling unit. You can feel how hot my logic board is. No less than 85 degrees. I knew you wouldn't say no. It's hot, isn't it? Just like Normandy's core, which we need to cool down already. However, I have some unpleasant news for you. I found out where to find the working fluid for the cooling unit, but you are unlikely to like it. In any case, we will need a drill and moral depravity. I can't stop thinking about your brilliant relative. He clearly worked here and designed many of the liner's systems. Could the accident have been caused by someone who needed his body or the data from his office? Yes, that's right. The working fluid is inside of them in the area of the bladder. We really need it, but they don't. It's the working fluid, no doubt about it. That should work. When installing it, don't touch the core's shell. Great, it works! At least now you won't get fried inside of me and smear my lining with your combustion residue. It looks like Normandy is fully prepared for another acceleration. That is, if the friend or foe system works and we are not destroyed on our approach to the accelerating station, of course. No, there is definitely something wrong here. I tried to track the flight path of your relative's body using the information of the coffins we opened earlier. He disappeared right after you lost him. Moreover, the other coffins didn't receive either any signal about the destruction of the coffin or its coordinates. And there's the accelerating station. It doesn't seem to be active, though. We've received a friend or foe identification request from the security system. I hope the unreadable number will really help. Sure. There's a very weak signal coming from here. I can't make it out exactly, but it seems like a call for all survivors to gather at this point. Apparently, the survivors really did gather here and were destroyed by the coffins. Despite the interference, I can say for certain that the audio message is recorded with a strong accent that resembles the one your female friend has. Having one such repair robot would come in handy. It's a shame that it's impossible to intercept the control of the maintenance team. It works! The security system keeps sending us the request, but it's not taking any action. Great! Why are there so many coffins here? Done. We can go. I can't tell what part of the ship this is, but there's something going on here. All my sensors are registering incredible electrical activity. The station is inactive, but intact. Probably it has no power. I suggest we find a place to dock and look around. What an old communications spaceship. It's the same age as the debris at the station with Breathedge cores. The service airlock. It's intact. This is the liner's debris for sure, but I can't identify it. Another closed door. How original. I think they could have come up with something more interesting than that. I wish I hadn't said anything. What the? I take my words back. I wish it was another closed door. Enough with this originality. The accelerating station is connected directly with those wires, or with these ones. But it definitely is connected, which means you can restore the power supply. Apparently, the coffins were pulling the wires, but someone killed them all. What an impressive size of this hall. I assume that we're in the classified modules of the liner that belong to its central core. Only the chosen ones, like your grandfather, could admire them. Be careful, there's some activity ahead. It looks like some of the coffins are still functioning. What strange equipment? I can't say for certain what it is, but it looks like some old data processor with basic artificial intelligence. It's likely the coffins unplugged the accelerating station, plugged this thing in instead, and tried to... I have no idea what they were trying. We just need to plug in the accelerating station. It looks like there's a powerful, deadly, and unstable power source behind this airlock, and we need to get in there, of course. Hidden burglar-proof hinges. Mechanical action isn't possible. The door's apart. The gates are recessed into the floor and have bastion armored floor coverings. All the electronics are protected by double encoding and a hidden duplication system. The estimated average hacking time is at least 6 layers of a 6th class durability alloy. My sensors can't get any deeper than that. And here's its weak spot. Well, compared to the rest of the solid mass of the door, if we try very hard, we can leave quite a decent dent here in a couple of years. Probably. I think now I understand how these gates work. We need to check the central locking valve. Yes, I figured out how to open it. For starters, we need 3 live hamsters, 2 electrical tapes, a bottle, a grenade, about 20 kilograms of metal, a wireframe, 2 motors but not too powerful, paint, or rather part of a paint spray can, and some small iron balls, only 200 or 300 of them. But, what about logic? This game is worthless. No, seriously, why is there a door on a secret and protected object that you could just... Forget about the door. I can't believe it. This is an additional small core of the liner unnamed. It's still working. Unbelievable. Someone broke open the control panel. I don't want to panic, but we can't open these gates unless I find a loophole in their locking system. Caution! There's a coffin on the control platform. It. Seems that this coffin destroyed all the others. I think that it's. No! It can't be! But the signal was lost. How is this even possible? Still, there's no doubt. It's definitely him. It's your grandpa. The coffin with your relative died in a battle with other coffins. I don't understand anything anymore. I know it's not easy, but we need to check him out.
My dear man, if you're reading this now, it means that I didn't succeed. But you noticed my note on the fridge, or on the mirror, or in the corridor, or on the dresser, or on your forehead. Sorry, I tried to leave them everywhere possible. You must stop the flight of the liner, ASAP. I've been working as an engineer at the Scientific Research Institute of Space Development for nearly 58 years. And in the last several years, we have been fulfilling orders for the Breathedge Funerary Agency. I haven't told you much about my work. I'm so sorry. But it's not that important right now. I started to notice that the Breathedge Agency was making odd requests, and I conducted my own investigation. Now I'm sure they're not who they say they are. Breathedge is perhaps the biggest and most dangerous fraud in human history. Please, take this recording and our chicken to Boris Gromov. You do remember my old friend at the investigation department, don't you? Today I'll try to get closer to them. I need hard evidence. I love you, Grandpa. And don't forget to feed the chicken. She is the key.
Breathedge? No, I don't understand. So all of this could have been avoided if you had at least washed your face? I don't know what to say. But it doesn't matter now. The main thing is that your grandpa knew something about the coffins, the disaster, and the company that created me. I'll try to decipher the tape and wait in case you want to bury your relative. Put him over there on the emergency eject platform. I should have recommended that the funeral protocol be followed and that you take the deceased to the shuttle, but with such damage to the coffin, your relative's body would soon simply spill out all over the deck. I suppose that the blue wire leads to the accelerating station because it's written on it. And what in the world is this thing? Perhaps your grandpa put it here. Or maybe not. I have no clue what this thing might be. He's been caught up in the planet's gravity. How beautiful. Wait a second. What is a neutron bomb? Oh, seems like reading notes isn't your thing. To be honest, I've no idea what fine you might get for destroying a potentially habitable planet, but I'll be melted down into a toaster. I'll definitely be melted down. What a shame. Or maybe... Can we just forget everything? Activating partial defragmentation of the data. Beep, beep, beep. Defragmentation complete. What happened to this planet? It was like this when we got here, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Okay then. I don't have a defragmentation function. It's time for us to get out of here and hope we die before the justice system gets to us. It's her again. Given the circumstances, I'm even more certain that this is another hoax and we shouldn't be distracted by her. Besides, she knows that we blew up the planet. Now we need to focus on activating the accelerating station and getting to the central core to activate the warp acceleration. Whatever you did it right. Now you only need to do the same thing to a couple of more places on the wire, and then the small core will be able to power the accelerating station. So, I couldn't decipher the compromising evidence, but I copied its contents so you wouldn't lose them. Now I think it's time for us to sum up everything that happened. Your grandpa was investigating a global conspiracy in Breathedge, but he died, leaving behind a programmed killer robot with compromising evidence. How shall I put it? You weren't able to find your grandpa's warnings on the note stuck to your own forehead. You took his dead body directly on board of the liner unnamed, which he clearly didn't want to get on. A few hours later, the liner was attacked by the Green Universe, who was tricked by someone and used for that someone's own purposes. The Green Universe, apparently, goofed up, so the liner crashed into an old station and exploded. Then hundreds of coffins got activated, turning into aggressive robots that killed the survivors. Your grandpa also got activated and wanted to pass the compromising evidence on to someone he knew, but died a second time. Now we have this compromising evidence, and the killer robots clearly know about it. Don't you think we're at risk? Poke the handy scrapper here. You need a handy scrapper here. Wonderful. You powered the accelerating station somehow, but I don't feel like explaining how. It's time for us to get back to Normandy before more coffins arrive. The accelerating station is active, so get close to it while I prepare for acceleration. Level 3 calibration complete. I wonder how many levels there are. The documentation says it's up to 10,000. Wait a second. The next autopilot point has the same coordinates that Babe sent you in the last message. So she called Captain Shepard for help too, since he marked her coordinates? This definitely doesn't bode well for us. Alright, let's go. I'll try not to reboot. It didn't work. I rebooted anyway. I hate acceleration. We seem to have arrived. However, I have some good news and some bad news for you. The good news is that you've learned to control the steering wheel very well. And the bad news is that you're no longer in control of Normandy. It looks like an old magnetic acceleration airlock system, and the autopilot has taken over the control for forced docking. I don't know much about magnetic airlocks, but we probably won't be allowed to disengage without remote clearance for departure. Of course, your interlocutor can't be here. It's the debris of an old space station of the Breathedge Funerary Agency. We've been in such a station before. No, one thing still bothers my mind. Like, I can imagine you. But how could Captain Shepard have bought into this babe's messages and routed a course here? This is We have arrived.